you watched her on MTV, you're due for a colonoscopy. Host of the Kennedy Saves the World podcast, Kennedy. All right, so the Biden book, Original Sin, is finally out, and so are the reviews. According to Politico, it describes Biden as a, quote, ailing geriatric leader surrounded by mendacious aides. While the Washington Post details an elderly, egotistical president shielded from reality by a slavish coterie of loyalists. Never said that word before. So ailing, mendacious, egotistical, and that's from media outlets that spent 4 years smooching Biden's wrinkly ass. They were so far up his butt, I'm surprised they didn't diagnose the cancer. Thank you. Enough. But does this book tell the whole story? Because even as the media is just now admitting this scandal was real, we know they're complicit. They took their own sweet time addressing the greatest fraud in presidential history, waiting till now, of course, to spill the beans.
I worked on the 2020 campaign for President Trump. We regularly said he is an empty vessel being filled by the radical left. And oh, whoopsie poopsie, we happen to be completely correct.
I just have to stop you right there. Did you really just say whoopsie poopsie? I mean, I don't think in my career anybody has ever said whoopsie poopsie on my show.
Glad I could be the first. I feel honored.
Where is that from your childhood or whoopsie poopsie?
Yeah, you know, just a little rhyme, a little turn of phrase.
Whoopsie poopsie.
You're welcome. You can keep that one.
I'm gonna steal it. Whoopsie poopsie. Kennedy, I get a second dose of you in one day. You were just on the 5.
Oh,
it was delightful. It is clear that while Biden was a mess, the policy wasn't. That's so interesting to me. We sat there and go, like, everything's falling apart. But there was a lot of policy that was hard left.
There was a lot of policy that we didn't like.
Yes.
But it was very cohesive if you're looking at a group of people who are entirely progressive.
Mm-hmm.
You know, look at the Inflation Reduction Act.
Yeah.
That had nothing to do with inflation reduction. That was all a big climate bill.
Yes.
And that's exactly what they were doing with every executive order. It was just a new way to push forward their political agenda that was very, very far to the left. And now they conveniently want you to move past that. Unfortunately, the people who put that entire Biden system in place, they're still in power. You know, Hakeem Jeffries, he met with the president. He knew how far in decline he was. So did Chuck Schumer. But it benefited them because they were in power at the beginning of the Biden administration.
Yes.
You know, you also had Jill Biden, and she got all the stuff. She got the gowns and the ball and the jet. She got everything. James and Hunter, Joe's brother and son, they got rich when there was the threat of the Biden presidency and the ultimate power play. That's when the grift went off. Jill didn't do that. She waited patiently. And once she got there, she wasn't going to let it go. And guess what? Joe is a narcissistic blowhard as well. He got to be president. And that's all he ever wanted, was to be on the placemat, really close to his best friend, Barack Obama. Just one inconvenient guy in between them.
Yes.
And so they all built the system together. They knew what they were doing. And when the Jenga piece was pulled out, which was the last shred of his memory and cognitive function, and the whole thing fell apart, guess who was the moderator at the debate where he imploded? Jake Tapper.
Yes. And you know what we say to that? Whoopsie poopsie. Whoopsie poopsie. Yeah, I'm never going to let you forget that.